inside. The wall gets hot, emits its heat into this cavity, and immediately it goes up. And so the inner wall doesn't get hot at all, and the room inside doesn't get hot. The amusing thing is, the early computer merchants wouldn't sell you a computer unless you've also bought an air conditioner. So they had quite difficulty in buying their computers because we didn't want the air conditioners. I met there in the art school. There were a couple who were teaching there who were Quakers, and of course that was really shaped my whole adult life, because I'd only just qualified from School of Architecture when the Second World War broke out. One of the things that Quakers have always been against is war. It doesn't solve any problems at all, is their belief, and it's certainly not a Christian way of behaving, and they refused to join the army. The Red Cross couldn't or wouldn't go to China. So they asked if we, the Friends Quaker Ambulance Unit, could go and start work there. I had 4 or 5 years, I've forgotten what. That came to an end, and I had to go back to England. And I went across by train to Bombay, and there were 2 friends, Quakers. The day after I arrived, they said, we're going to see Bapu. Bapu, I remember, had told me there is an unwritten law that really you do all your building from materials that are available within a 5-mile radius of where you live. The Quakers, of course, always emphasized simplicity and avoiding superfluity and decoration and unnecessary frivolities and so on. They always come back to the basic beliefs. What am I alive for? What am I doing? Am I doing it in the right way? Am I using my life in the right way? How can I help others who are in the same way of living? And more particularly, how can I help others who don't have my particular way of thinking? It's a big round. This was the outside wall, which was of this jarley, brick jarley. And here, for instance, will be the altar and all that sort of thing. This is the business end. But on these feast days and for these processions, people can walk all the way round here, you see, and then come on round and round and go back to where they came from. It was 102 feet or something like that to the top of the cross, which itself was 30 feet high and built up of small pieces of wood. And then there were huge trusses that came up like that, ordinary wooden trusses. So these arches are functional to carry the thrust of this thing pushes out into the ground. Interestingly, the people, the parishioners, they thought it was a good idea, and they liked it, and they gave him the go-ahead. Whereas the priests, his juniors as it were, they thought this was, letting the side down, and now we were going to copy the Hindus instead of the British.
It's late in the evening. She's wondering what clothes to wear. She puts on her makeup and brushes her long blonde hair. And then she asked me, do I look alright? Then I see, yes, you look wonderful tonight. They were octagons and they were hexagons, and there's a circular class which the children love very much. He always says that very happy things happen in circular areas. After I bought the land, which cost me exactly ₹1,00,000, I had 25,000 rupees left. So whatever Laurie did, he did for 25,000. He said, just tell me what you have and I'll work with it. So what he did was to mark out the foundation, build up to about 3 feet, and then cover the whole area with a huge cudgeon roof. Sometimes the rain slashed in, the windows made the whole structure sway, but the children just loved it, and it was really a wonderful beginning. It's a gorgeous place for children. They can get lost, they can find each other, and I think there's something wonderful in the brick finish that makes it it's not sort of formal. The whole part of education they go through here is informal.
Supportive photo management. We used to call it a tripod. Information technology.
You do get Englishmen who are occasionally of this almost Mad Hatter category. He's laughing at himself, laughing at other people all the time.
Data on bases, DB, ITDB. This is somebody's base, and here's the data. Gravity solution. It's common enough. Why they think this is modern, I don't know. Window access protocol, after you, Claude. An optical drive. Baker's boots are best. Ooh, add. Actually, I was put to live with some missionaries, but I didn't like that. With all these punkawalas and, all the dressing for dinner and all that sort of thing. And I left them and went to live at the leprosy home with this Dr. Chandy, who later became my brother-in-law, because his sister came to see him, of course, but I was there as well, and we eventually decided to get married. It was at the time of a lot of unrest